speaking of the jockey, and you're one of our favorite voices across the C-suite in cannabis, because you're a very analytical person. I know you come from a Wall Street background, so I guess to ask you to put that hat on, and I know it's been a while since you have, but as an analyst in your past life, where do you think the largest disconnects are within our industry?
Okay, so Josh, flattery will get you everywhere, and also I would tell you that analytics are critical, but gut feel in this industry, which we also have in spades, and this team has also contributed. So I would just say I'm constantly surprised at how inefficient our capital markets are. And I see that as a real reason for a disconnect in valuations, of course, but also in rewarding good performance versus bad behavior. And that's just the frustration when you're an operator and you've built a business based upon key metrics. I'd love to see that more rewarded down the road. I think that separates the real winners, and I think the industry is overdue for that separation. But I've seen this before. In my life as an analyst, I loved being on the other side of the investment bet, and not always are you right. But there is a tendency for there to be a myopic view, like a herd mentality around your own market, or a management team that you can access, or the country that they're operating in. And that usually creates situations where stocks can get mispriced. And so I like that from a opportunity perspective in this space. The other thing I just want to add, and I see a real bad mindset that there's a zero-sum game, that this industry is going to either be won by the US or by Canada. And maybe it's the macro environment. Maybe we needed to have a World Cup game against each other, but that's not the way I see this from my vantage point. The outcomes are not mutually exclusive. US, Canada, Germany, there are going to be a lot of regions and a lot of companies that are going to win in this global industry. And so the way we're thinking about it is build the sophisticated supply chain, and it's our job to be very positioned for that growth in the future. That's what shareholders should be demanding from us. Last thing I would say is there's probably a bias that those that are incumbents will be the long-term winners. That happens in any industry. It's happening here. And I think there's rapid change happening in this industry. So, I think investors should do the work as to what will be the sustainable business model. For us, and I think this is specifically where it gets overlooked for us, is our competitive cost leadership, our discipline operationally, our regulatory expertise, our commercial expertise. And I think that's what, if I were back in my old job with my old hat on, I'd be really encouraging investors to look at the model more carefully that each one of us is running.